Good morning and a very warm welcome here on day 2 in Gibraltar for the Inspire Sport Netball Europe U17 Challenge event at the Century Sports Hall. We have 4 international matches to bring you live all day, so don't miss a minute. Day 1 demonstrated just how competitive the under-17s are this year. We've already seen some great games of netball from all 5 competing nations this weekend. Host Gibraltar, Republic of Ireland, Switzerland, Malta and Isle of Man. As we know, there is a huge amount at stake this weekend, with the team who emerges the overall winner being promoted to the Netball Europe Under-17 Championship section next March. Don't miss a minute of the action here today. After all, Saturdays were made for netball. I'm Lynn Carpenter and I'm delighted to be joined in comms today by Jo Beveridge, one of the 2 co-founders of Switzerland Netball. Jo.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here today. It's going to be a close match, I think, because after the form of both teams yesterday, they both played extremely well, so I'm quite excited to see how they're going to go against each other.
So we've had a really exciting first day here, 4 games yesterday. The game last night between Switzerland and Gibraltar was pretty intense, with Switzerland emerging the overall winners by only 6 goals, 38-31. So we've got Isle of Man up this morning against Ireland. Again, could be a really competitive game.
It could be an incredible game today. Last night's game, honestly, as a Swiss supporter, it was intense. Up in the stands, the Swiss supporters and their cowbells were going mad, which is a great atmosphere when you have the cowbells ringing. I think Switzerland yesterday just held it together through pure team spirit. They knew what each other were doing. The synergy between the players was superb, especially in that 4th quarter.
And as you can see, we're bringing you live 4 great matches today, so don't go away, don't miss it a day. You can go out and do a bit of shopping between the morning and afternoon sessions, but make sure you stay tuned in all day. We go live 9 o'clock this morning for this game, Isle of Man, Ireland, followed straight after by Switzerland, Malta. Be back this afternoon to see host Gibraltar take on the Isle of Man, and we finish with Malta against Ireland 6 o'clock this evening. So a full day of netball. Jo, how do you think this game is going to play out today?
Well, as I said earlier, I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think I'd call it at the moment because, as I say, yesterday both of them had good games. Ireland were playing extremely well. They gave Switzerland quite a good run for their money at the beginning of the match. Switzerland pulled away again at the end, which seems to be their style at the moment. The Isle of Man had an easier game yesterday, so it's maybe a little difficult to judge their form. So today we'll be interested to see them play a team of roughly the same standard, I would guess.
So I think you're absolutely right. We'll shortly be introducing the 2 teams to you. So Ireland, when they played Switzerland, 48-35. That was a really competitive game.
It was a really good game, yeah. It was a nice clean netball. It was closely run. So I think on what we've seen so far, Ireland possibly have the nose at the moment. But as we say, we didn't really see how Isle of Man can play yesterday.
So let us bring you the starting 7 for both of these teams today. First for Isle of Man, goal shooter Cook, Deval goal attack, Leaf in at wing attack, centre Jacqueline Charter, Pitsy wing defence, Neen goal defence, and their captain Shepherd at goalkeeper. Coach for Isle of Man is Emma Williams. And now Ireland taking to the court, goal shooter Hughes, their captain Simon at goal attack, Hart wing attack, Redmond centre, wing defence Morgan, Stingemore in at goal defence, and goalkeeper is Hayes. The coach is Emma Wall for Ireland. So our umpires will shortly be getting this game underway. I can tell you that the umpires for today are Anna Hernandez and Katie Saunders. The reserve umpire is Katie Howell.
It's always a tough job being an umpire. They do a very good job on the under-17 teams here, and sometimes the crowd don't appreciate quite how difficult it is to see a million decisions going on all at the same time.
I think that's a really good point, Jo. And Anna Hernandez, who's on the bench side of the court today, only 18.
Gosh, that's tough.
So here we go. Match underway, Isle of Man in possession. So Jacqueline Charter, centre for Isle of Man, had a really strong game yesterday.
She had an excellent game yesterday. It's quite interesting seeing somebody quite so tall and strong looking in the centre court.
We said that as well. Really effective in there.
Very effective.
So Duval didn't start yesterday. Been given a run out goal attack. She'll be pleased to get that one away.
Settles the nerves a bit when you get your first goal in.
And don't forget, if you are tuning in this early on a Saturday morning, you're really welcome to be with us. Send us your comments and views. Use our hashtag NEU17 challenge, and Joe and I will do our best to read out your comments and keep you connected with the netball down here in Gibraltar.
It's nice to see how the Isle of Man are passing the ball around the court. So they're just settling themselves down. They're just keeping the ball in possession, just so they can settle the nerves a little bit.
Unfortunate ball handling error there.
That's probably the nerves at the beginning of the game.
So when these two teams met previously, Ireland came away winners 57-32, but we say at this level the pathways are really not always clear for these teams.
It's not. You can't tell year to year really, because often you'll have half the team as new players because the other half have gone on. Every year, obviously, they're getting a year older, and therefore they're not eligible to play in the under-17 category anymore. So, as for example, Switzerland, we've got 6 new players in a squad of 12 this year.
So, Isle of Man taking a bit of a lead here, 3-0 so far. A couple of minutes already gone.
The Isle of Man are looking a little bit more confident at the beginning of the game. The Irish are looking a little nervous at the moment. A few ball fumbles.
Took them a little bit of time to get into the game yesterday as well, Ireland.
Yeah. Just the nerves are just telling a little bit.
So Hughes for Ireland.
Well done.
And as you can hear, we've got massive support from the travelling Ireland fans as well. Great to have so much support here for all the teams.
It's fantastic. Considering they've all had to fly in, it's great to see so much support, and it's always so vocal. And a lot of proud parents up there, which is well deserved.
Good pressure by Redmond there on the edge of the circle for Ireland.
Bit of contact there by the goal defence. Always difficult in the circle for the defenders not to contact. It's quite a skill to be able to go in for each ball but not contact your player.
No goal. I think umpires pulled an offside. We saw a lot of that yesterday.
Saw an awful lot of offside yesterday. Which, if you look at the beautiful court we've got just the single lines. That it's difficult to understand why we had quite so much offside yesterday, because it's very clear where the court is. Gibraltar have done a great job.
I know that they, like all of you, rely hugely on volunteers, and we have pictures of the volunteers for days pulling up the tape from all the other lines to make sure that they present a clean court here today, which is a huge commitment.
Huge commitment, and makes such a difference to the tournament for the girls to be able to play on a court that is just a netball court and hasn't got all the 100 other lines going on as well.
So Jacqueline Charter finding Duval under the post. Cook. Contact call. Hayes in it. Goalkeeper there for Ireland.
Sort of can't get over where you said the umpire is only 18 years old. The pressure on an 18-year-old to do an international match.
And she is
all credit to
super
her.
Confident.
Well, you have to be.
As she rightly should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what Simon does really well. Did it really well yesterday, driving the front and cutting to the top. Captain for Ireland, goal attack. Couldn't quite make that one sink.
You can just see at the body language at the moment of the players when they're running down the court that the Isle of Man players are just looking that bit more strong, bit more shoulders back, looking more confident.
They need to get a little bit more depth on the top of that circle there. They're all a little bit flat perhaps at the moment, Joe.
Yeah, they are.
So Duval scores another one for Isle of Man. 4-1, 5 minutes gone in this first quarter here in Gibraltar. Another sunny day down here, though we don't get to see a lot of that in netball.
No, we've got a beautiful sports hall to look at instead.
So Ireland are probably taking a little bit longer to settle into this game. Some unforced errors.
That was a good call on the footwork. It's just slightly dragging the foot rather than lifting it up and down.
We saw yesterday a lot of these young players thinking they'd split landed and then moving, but actually it wasn't, so they were getting pulled. There's a little bit of tidying up. I think
yeah, this delayed takeoff, which is a really complicated rule. I was trying to explain it to some of the parents yesterday who were getting very agitated because they couldn't see where the football was coming. 4-2. Isle of Man slightly ahead with Ireland at this moment in time. Jacqueline Charter looking for the options around the circle. Redmond needs to be careful she doesn't get called for persistent offside there. To be honest, offside is a foul that really shouldn't be happening at this level. I agree. So great front cut again by Cook for the Isle of Man. They lead 5-2. See, she's not been given so many options. After that centre pass, the Irish centre pass, they're really not finding the options. Oh, that was unfortunate. It was a good move by Hughes, just couldn't keep control of the ball. We saw yesterday Isle of Man constantly giving 2 options, resetting, going again. Good pressure though by Ireland, forcing them wide and keeping them pinned to the sideline. Duval, not quite ready to pop that shot up. It's good defence. Great confident take by Cook. Yeah. 6-2 now, Isle of Man and their centre pass. We saw a lot yesterday where the teams were just gave away their centre pass time and time again, and perhaps didn't seem to be aware of it. Maybe they were, but it didn't feel like it sitting here watching. I don't think they were. As you say, look, watching it yesterday, we were going, why is this happening all the time? But I think on court, you probably weren't feeling it in quite the same way. It's a great 1-2 between Jacqueline Charter and Duval. 7-2, Ireland centre pass. Oh dear, what happened there? I think we might have a slight injury, so she's come off for now, this was a question we had yesterday when one of the girls from the Gibraltar team just walked off the court. I always thought there was a rule that you couldn't come off court until your physio had actually said you could come off. That's not the case. No, it changed some time ago, partly because there is that finite balance between putting pressure on umpires to make a decision about whether the player's injured, because the pressure then on the umpire if they were and they hadn't called it correctly. So the INF changed and modernised the rules, which is happening all the time. Yep. And it's really clear now. Nice drive there by the wing attack. Leith had a good game yesterday when she came on, rewarded by starting today. There's our Irish leprechaun in the corner there. Yes. Somebody asked me earlier, did I want to interview the leprechaun? I thought, I'm not really quite sure what I'd ask, to be honest. Hopefully bringing luck to the Irish team. So just over 6 minutes left here in this first quarter of day 2. Another 3 exciting games to bring to you. So keep up the conversation. Nice. Use our hashtag NEUnder17 challenge. We'd love to hear from you. Hopefully you're up and about across the region this morning. Better defending by Ireland there. Very good. 3 seconds. Nice hands over the ball by the centre for Isle of Man there, making it difficult for the Irish to pass the ball. Look at that defending. Great distance, hands up, disciplined in terms of getting her 3 feet first. Absolutely. Unlucky for Hughes, and the ball didn't quite fit. Fall for her, 8-3. For those watching at home, it's key when you're defending that you do get your distance of your 3 foot before you put your hands up. Because if you do it the other way around, you're obstructing the play. So that was a great on the edge of the circle interception by Redmond for Ireland, but they just can't capitalise on those turnovers. The Isle of Man are just keeping them pinned down. Their defence is great all the way through the court, from their attacking players right through to the defenders. Is that the whole team are defending well when Ireland are on the attack.
So Isle of Man, Duval misses that one. They'll get a penalty through Cook. So still quite a low scoring quarter, 9-3. We've got just under 5 minutes now.
Lovely. That
great
good
reading of the
defending
ball by Hayes. Well picked up by Duval. You can feel Ireland warming up a little bit now.
Yeah, they are. They're beginning to get a little bit more confidence. Their shoulders going back a little bit. They're running that ball down the court a little better.
That won't help. Eaton on now for Hart, who went off.
Right, see what they can do on
by
this.
Cook. Simon, the captain,
Nice.
goal attack.
Lovely. The Irish goal attack is an excellent shooter. She gets the ball in her hand. She's very confident. If they just get it to her, she does the job.
Nice front cut. Lovely shot.
So all the players are settling down a little bit now. The match is beginning to warm up.
That was an unforced error on their centre pass. Ireland can't really afford that. 11-4 they trail at this moment. Good vision there. Right. Isle of Man, oh, unfortunate. There is that fine dividing line between pulling the penalty and allowing advantage.
Absolutely. Again, when you're umpiring, sometimes from the crowd point of view, you go, oh, why didn't you call advantage? But your brain has just blown the whistle as you see it, and therefore it's only afterwards you think, oh, maybe that should have been advantage. It's a really hard.
It is a difficult call. So Stingemore trying to put some good effective pressure in there in the circle. But Isle of Man take another one, and their centre pass, 12-4.
Yes, nicely read.
Morgan anticipated that. Nice, it's what we talked about yesterday. Timing it nice, clean, getting the angle right on the interception.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yes, nice rebound.
Unlucky.
No, bad luck.
I think Hayes' foot was just out there.
The Irish defence have got to keep on their toes a little bit more. They're a bit flat-footed at the moment.
Yeah, the rotating ability of Cook and Duval really proving effective for Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Ireland with an opportunity here. Good marking
Nice.
though by Neen in there at goal defence.
So that was a good decision there by the wing attack to just change what she was going to do. She was going to pass it underneath and suddenly just popped it over the head of the defender.
So we're almost down to the last minute now in this first quarter. Isle of Man leading the Republic of Ireland 13-5.
Second half of this quarter has been closer than the score is actually saying. But still that good arms over the ball. That centre has got extending arms by the look of it.
So Hughes looks for nice pop to Simon and pulls one back. Timely this part of the match, and it is Ireland's centre pass.
Lovely take on the centre pass there by the Irish.
Much better timing. Nice rotation there. Discipline needed. Not to give away a penalty pass at this time in the game. What can Simon do as captain?
Oh.
Good rebound. Well done. So the gap down to 6 now.
That's a better way to finish the quarter.
Now, will they get a shot? That was the late takeoff we were just talking about.
Yes, it was, exactly.
Now, are they going to get it in? They need to really get it in the circle. Are they aware of the time? The benches aren't holding up the clock. And the umpires will blow the whistle for the end of what has been a really good competitive game. Isle of Man leading Ireland 13-7, but as you were saying, Joe, actually the second half of that game was much closer, much more competitive.
Much closer. The Irish really got their confidence together, their shoulders came back, they were looking up and ahead towards their goal, and once their confidence came in, they were playing a much sharper game. I think maybe for people watching, we should be trying to describe what the late takeoff actually means, because we now mentioned it a couple of times, but I don't know whether you could give a good explanation of that, putting you on the spot there.
No pressure. So it is about when you've almost got the ball in your hand, but you don't realise you have, and you've still got contact with the ground as you take off. So actually that foot then becomes the foot that has already been grounded. So you can do one step, and if you remain on one leg, you're clean and you've made the you've caught the ball effectively. But what the players are then doing is putting that first foot back down again, which is footwork.
And it often happens when it's a pass that you're having to really stretch to go for.
Absolutely. And you know, it's worth remembering that a lot of these players are at 15, 16. We have got some 14-year-olds here, and we have one 13-year-old in one of the squads. So part of their development as international athletes will be all this, what the strength and conditioning brings, their natural development as young people, and their ability to develop their core strength. And that, with their proprioceptors in their ankles and their feet, will also help them be able to control the ball a little bit more.
It's a thing that we're pushing a lot, is your core strength. The core strength is so important for the footwork and your balance on court.
It was interesting because I can't remember which team it was yesterday. It was warming up. They were actually doing plank and core stability exercises as part of their warm-up on court. And I was thinking, if I'd had to do that warming up, I'd have had to go and sit down and have a rest.
There would be no way you go and play an hour's match after that, would you?
My goodness. And actually, we've been saying, not only at the Under-17 Championships last weekend in Huddersfield, but here as well, I think people underestimate the strength and the commitment of these young players and what it takes to be an international athlete.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I was listening to your commentary yesterday and saying is once these players begin to believe they really are international athletes, then the training and the conditioning comes as part of it, because they realise that they're actually playing on an international stage, or they have the chance to play on an international stage, and therefore their fitness training and everything that the coaches are always hammering on about at home becomes that little bit more important. And
it is, and it's, if you look at the performance pathways of many sports, they start really with young players, and they have a program around 2 to 5-year-olds, 5 to 10-year-olds, and it's all about linking in with their natural development as young people and their growth, but also about what they need to do in terms of hours on court, if it's swimming, hours in the pool, to actually develop that ability and capacity to be an international athlete.
Absolutely, and I think at this age, when we're talking about 13 to 17-year-olds, it's a hard age for girls at the best of times. And to actually get them to be convinced that they really do need to do all the work off court, and when they see this, and with the broadcasts that we've got today going back to all the home countries, of which we know there's loads of people watching, and a lot of the girls who are coming up, I'm hoping that they will become the international athletes of next year or the year after. They then can realise that really fitness and core strength is so key. I mean, it was shown yesterday in the Swiss match in the end, that last quarter, where the Swiss just pulled away, and it was partly due to the fact they were fitter.
I think that is very true, Joe. So here we go, quarter 2, and again, footwork, great interception, just needs to plant her feet a little bit more. So Ireland have the opportunity,
nice
or did,
turnover.
And that Jacqueline Charter long arms at centre for Isle of Man.
She's a very key player in this team.
Well held by Duval there.
Oh!
You just want to give that one a little bit of a blow.
Blow it in.
So 14-7.
Nice.
Their centre pass. Definitely come out strong on this one. Great hands there again by Hayes for Ireland.
She's reading that ball nicely now. That's the Isle of Man team was actually doing exactly the same move twice, and the Irish defender picked it up on the second time. Nearly got our hands to it.
So 15-7. So great defence off the centre pass there by Isle of Man. Didn't quite
Nice
pull it
ball
off.
into the
Lovely
pocket there.
Feed in. Simon will be disappointed with herself. She shakes her head. We all know the pressure that these young athletes are under.
We do. I don't think I'd have been a shooter if you'd paid me to be a shooter. Far too much pressure.
I wouldn't have done anything else.
Never understand that myself. Much happier in defence.
Great shot there by Cook. Hughes for Ireland. 15-8. They now are
nice
against
pass.
Isle of Man. Beautiful ball.
And again, lovely. Nicely worked around the circle.
Great speed of pass there. Great hands by Leith. Duval again, having a good game.
They're just a little bit more confident in themselves as a team, the Isle of Man team. They know where each other's going to be, and they're happy to throw the ball around. They've got faith in each other.
And you can see that in the game with the speed of the release, seeing the options, being confident to give.
Nice interception there. It was a bit of a loose ball by the Isle of Man team. And that's what happens when you do a loose, sort of weak pass, then it gives an option for the other team to just come straight in. And
nice pop into Simon.
And there we go. They were penalised for that weak pass on the centre court.
So, ball. Cook, great timing on a rebound. There's something about the defenders blocking that shooter out immediately, not letting them get the rebound.
You really have to actually try and, as a defender, just as soon as they've shot, turn your back on your player so that the rebound is going to come straight down to you and not let those shooters in.
So Isle of Man still here in the lead, 17-9 against Ireland.
Yes, nice.
Just delayed the pass slightly, which gave Hayes the time to come round front, get the interception.
Oops.
Now, that was great vision by Jacqueline Charter. Saw
Beautiful
both
passing.
options, popped it into the post.
There you go. Have you noticed the goalkeeper? She's getting a few more interceptions now, and it's because she's up on her toes. At the beginning of the game, we said she was a little bit flat-footed. And now she's up on her toes and sort of bouncing a bit more. So she's really ready for those interceptions. You see how her feet are moving now?
Fast feet. Pocket round. She's there. Nice again. Vision of Jacqueline Charter to make the right decision.
Yeah. She's got good vision.
Well done by Stingemore there for Ireland,
Lovely.
Picking up the interception. Rebound off the missed shot.
Right, they're all squashing up in that same little space. They need to be spinning the ball across the court a little bit more.
Oh, that was tempting.
Oops, go. Ooh.
Just a ball handling error there.
They're just not giving themselves enough space, the Irish. They're nowhere to pass to. The Isle of Man team are really pinning them down into a tiny bit of the court.
Whereas you watch Isle of Man bringing the ball down, that
absolutely.
transition was fast, but footwork call.
Right, let's see what they can do with it now. Nice backup by the keeper.
Yeah, it was.
But was that another footwork?
It was. Hayes almost there. Just needs to take one more step. Get the angle right coming round. A bit more sort of 90 degrees rather than a bit flat. So 19 plays 9. 10 goals the difference now.
See, that's again, they're just not giving themselves any space to throw the ball. The Irish have got them pinned down. The Isle of Man team have got the Irish pinned down to that line.
really making much progress when they do get the ball.
No.
They're not really using the far side of the court. They're tending to
not at all.
want to stay down that one side. Which is interesting. Yes, well read.
Absolutely. Yes, and again.
Oh, Hayes. Now, where is it going to go? Well held by Duval. It was a good challenge by Stingemore. Takes a good rebound.
Brutal in that circle nowadays, and you've got to be very tough to play in the circle and take the knocks as they come, because there's a lot of contest going on now. It's again that difficult one for the umpires to contest and contact. If both players are going up for the ball, and it's contest. And a bit of argy-bargy as they do it is okay.
It's all fair in love and war, or love and netball, as they say.
As long as they're both doing it and it's not just one-sided.
There you go. Hayes got that
nice
tip that we've been talking about.
Oh, and here they come. They spin it into the centre of the court a bit more.
There we go. That's better. It just gives them more options.
Yeah.
Using the wider court. And
nice.
there she is.
There.
It's easy from when we're sitting here, Joe. We've got the best seats in the house here.
It's so much easier. We could play all the positions here.
Absolutely. If only. So good pressure again by Shepherd. She had a really good game yesterday. Isle of Man have one win under their belt out of one. Ireland have one loss. So both teams here wanting to capitalise. 19-11. Halfway through the second quarter, on our way to half time. Nice quick transition. It's interesting when you describe netball to people who perhaps don't know the sport as well as we do, and you describe the skills that these players need in terms of aerobic and anaerobic fitness, ability to jump, so plyometric, really important, psychological strength to deal with the pressure of the game, specific skills around ball handling, decision making.
Decision making, absolutely. I mean,
because there's so many connotations.
If you think in an hour's match, how many decisions these players are making? Oh.
So
it's probably the ultimate team sport, I think.
Choosing the long pass over the top. Great shot there by Hughes, should be pleased. He's indicating to come off. We have 2012. We'll just update the scoreboard for you. There we go.
So we're talking about describing it to people who have never heard the sport. Of course, here in Switzerland we have a lot of that because it's a totally unknown sport only a few years ago. And we've started introducing it into the local primary schools now. And the primary school teachers, when they've seen it played, are saying this is amazing for team building. And they've absolutely loved it. The teachers particularly, from the team spirit point of view, from the fact that all players have to be used on the court, and when you're beginning, whether you're a weak, confident player or a very strong, confident player, you're all used in exactly the same way. And it's great team building, and that's the strength of what we've been trying to do in Switzerland to really build it up and promote the sport as empowering the women and team building.
And of course, that challenge for you is the same in many member countries, not only in the region but around the world. It's getting, I think, a foot in the door, having a product.
Absolutely.
So having the opportunity to live stream matches of this nature, I think, gives everybody an opportunity to showcase what the sport can do at a young level right up to the Open.
Absolutely, it's vitally important. Our head coach yesterday was saying that her in-laws, who've never heard of netball at all, were sitting cheering on yesterday because of the live stream and thoroughly had a very enjoyable afternoon watching the matches.
And good, of course they should do. So
Absolutely.
Isle of Man still in the lead here, 20 goals to 12, but really competitive now from Ireland. They're having a better quarter at 7-5 so far this
Beautifully
quarter.
read there. Oh, bad luck.
Nice idea, perhaps just a little bit too much on that one, a bit too much airtime. Couldn't quite get to it.
It was a nice idea. Right, let's see what we can do now. I'm not sure what their coach has said to them, but they've come out on fire.
we've got just under 5 minutes to go now to half time. Nothing between these two in this quarter. 7-5 the score now in terms of the quarter. 20-12 overall. So the Irish defence has definitely been more effective this one. Yes, great drive. The baseline again by Cook.
Nice jump.
Yes, really nice dodge position there, driving towards the ball.
Also nice to see the Irish wing defence really keeping the wing attack out of the game at that point. She was completely ineffective around the edge of the circle, which puts more pressure on the shooters.
Simon, nice weighted ball, just needs to be pulled in by Hughes. Shepherd, their captain. So if you watch the wing attack's foot there, she recognised she was on one foot, but she knew that's because she had a late takeoff, and she was aware of it herself.
That's quite impressive. Third time lucky. Oops.
So interesting to see the changes that Ireland have made. They put Stingemore back there, a goal shooter from goal defence that she's playing, so that flexibility on the court and the offers of these players really important. Zeta's come on at wing defence and Morgan at goal defence for Ireland.
That's interesting. That so the Irish, she's playing defence and shooting.
Yes.
And that shows depth of ability.
I mean, we talk about it's a whole team defensive unit.
Yep.
So when there's a turnover, the shooters in centre court are, of course,
Absolutely.
expected and learn how to defend just as well. But actually, that offer from a player to play in both circles is quite something.
It is quite something, but it's great if they can do it, because you suddenly get a shooter who's also a defensive player, and that can make a huge difference in the circle, going up for the rebounds. The Irish have really come out strongly in this one.
Yeah, so 22 plays 13, 2
Nice
minutes to go.
vision there.
Just need a bit of discipline, don't want to give those penalties away under the post.
Nice.
Give the options. Simon.
Be interested to see the stats on the Irish shooting, because they've had lots of opportunities and not
All of them are being converted into goals.
If Ireland, I think, had capitalised on a couple more, they could have been in the lead in this quarter.
Yeah, they could.
It feels like the game has moved that way
It
a little bit
does.
in terms of opportunities and
Yes, if you were
passages
not
of play.
looking at the score, you'd actually think the Irish were winning at this point.
So Simon pops to Stingemore.
And to get, oops.
Offside by Redmond.
So that's the last 3 attempts in the circle they haven't converted to goal. Right, let's see if they can do it this time. Yes.
Yes, she has. 22-14. It's interesting when the substitution was made as well. So it was made during the quarter. So Stingemore's had no opportunity to go and put some shots at the post either.
That's a very good point. Absolutely, and that's showing now. There you
So
go.
great pull in by Simon. 22-15. We're into the last few seconds of this game. Are they aware? Let's see. Players get the ball into the circle. They keep it clean at this stage, not give away any penalties.
I'd just like to see that Irish goal defence a little bit more on her toes. She's still a little bit flat-footed.
Oh,
And again,
don't
there
want to
she
give
was,
that
she sort
ball
of-
away.
Yeah.
footwork. Missed opportunity there. We're down to possibly the last second of the game. And there we go. So, as the teams take to the bench for half-time, The Isle of Man has a 22-15 lead over the Republic of Ireland, but it's been a different quarter this one,
It's been a totally different quarter, and the score really does not reflect how well Ireland played in that quarter. And as we said, if they converted more of their opportunities into goals, I actually feel they would be within 1 or 2 goals of the Isle of Man team. The Isle of Man sort of, as soon as Ireland put the pressure on, the Isle of Man weren't looking quite so confident.
So we'll see what these two teams decide to do. Interesting substitution, as we said, about swapping from a goal defence to a goal shooter in the passages of play, no opportunity to shoot. And I can't remember in the warm-up whether Singemore was actually putting shots up.
No, I didn't notice.
One of the four.
It was quite a pressurised change for her. And once she got the one goal in, then the next one came quite quickly. But it took her a little while to get into it, which I don't think any of us can blame her for, because, as you say, she goes from defence where you're concentrating in an entirely different way to suddenly having to go into attack and shoot goals. It's a completely different way of playing, and to actually be able to do it at all credit to her.
So let's bring you some of the replays of the really great passages of play we've seen this morning in the match so far.
Well, I hope you're enjoying your time here in Gibraltar. Can we hear the crowd supporting these two amazing teams? Can we have a cheer for Ireland? Good. Can we now have a cheer for the Isle of Man? Absolutely amazing. Can we have a cheer for our ball girls? Fantastic job. We have you two on display. We have Luzanne Pereira, Maya Negrete Hyde, Miriam Fortuna, Faye Smith, and Emma Guillermo.
So as we can see, there's been some really great play by both teams here in the first half, but I'm really pleased now to welcome Sarah Paynes to the comms box. Sarah, head coach of Gibraltar, appeals panel member today for Netball Europe, so as volunteers wearing many hats.
Definitely.
And recently back from a huge success for Gibraltar in Hong Kong. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was an amazing experience for the team. For me personally as a coach, it was something that we'd never done before. We've only ever entered internationally Netball Europe, so big, huge learning curve for us in terms of travelling for a start. We've never been to that side of the world. Coping with things like jet lag, the training for that after you've got off a plane. Playing very different styles against, different styles of netball there. Physicality, height throughout the team.
So apart from that, it was a breeze.
It was a breeze. But fantastic learning opportunity for our girls. And we used it as a platform, or have used it as a platform for Netball Europe, which is our main competition of the year. We were fortunate to have Denise Ellis with us as a mentor for both me personally, the management team, and the players themselves. And she has supported us since September in a way. So for me, it was just grabbing as much knowledge as I could gain from her as possible.
And one of the strengths we say about Netball Europe is it's competitive on the court, but collaborative off. And what we've seen over many years is countries supporting each other to develop. So Gibraltar is buddied with Netball Scotland, who've been incredible. People like Denise Ellis coming down supporting Gibraltar. It all contributes to the improvement and the progress of netball in our region. And of course here this weekend, the Netball Europe under 17 event, giving these young people a taste of international netball for the first time?
No, that's fantastic. I mean, Netball Europe for me, it's grown and grown, and I think we've grown with it because Netball Europe's given us that opportunity. And we are. You mentioned Scotland being our buddies. We're going over to play them in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, I hope they're going to be kind to you.
I hope they are.
I don't think so.
No, nor do I. It'd be nice to think they will, but no. No, that's another learning experience for us, which would be great.
Well, we know that you did fantastically well out in Hong Kong. 2 amazing games. That game against Thailand when you were 3 down with 47 seconds on the clock.
Definitely,
I mean, that just shows, we always say it's not over till it's over.
Exactly.
Scored 3 goals to level the game, then in extra time managed to take that bronze medal, 62-60 if I remember.
That's right.
How did that feel for the players?
Amazing, and I think it was well deserved. They had worked so hard, it was a big learning curve for them, and to come away with that final experience, on a high was great.
Well, we wish you well here at the Under-17s this weekend, and of course we will see you in 7 weeks on the Isle of Man for the Netball Europe Open Challenge there.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So welcome back here to the Tercentenary Sports Hall in Gibraltar for the Netball Europe Under-17 Challenge event on day 2 of the competition. Day 1 saw some amazingly tight games. I think day 2 will be exactly the same, as you can see from the screen. The Isle of Man is currently leading Ireland 22-15. It's been a really close, competitive game so far. Joe, nothing in it. That second quarter, Ireland really demonstrated their strength and depth, particularly in defending. We talked about their ability then to convert that into a goal success. Not quite there yet. What do you think we might see from these teams now in the second half?
Well, I'm hoping that the Irish team will come out as strong as they finished that last quarter. As you said, if they get their defence is getting up now and getting those interceptions in the mid-court, they just need to be a little stronger and more confident in their passing. So that they can then push it and convert it into the goals. The Isle of Man defence are really still keeping them quite pinned down, so they need to push past that and get some nice, strong, fast passing going on.
So we'll bring you the official substitutions in just a second. Ireland get underway with the first centre pass.
See, that's better
much
straight away.
Better. What a great ball.
Good balance on the edge of the line
there.
there.
Unlucky. So, interestingly, straight away we can spot a substitution. A goal shooter in Ireland. Stingemore has come out from that shooting position. Should they put her back there?
That's it. She came forward for the ball, which was nice.
Give an option.
Find some space.
Lovely pass into Simon. The ball yesterday, I don't think she could miss anything.
No,
today they're just not falling for her.
Her shooting yesterday was really on point. It was really good. Yes.
So we talk a lot about shooting and what can the players do in a quarter if their shooting's under pressure, and there's lots of things you can do in practice in terms of you miss 2 in practice, you give yourself a penalty, but in a game like that where perhaps Simon is struggling, there is the opportunity at a dead ball penalty pass to let her take it just to get her confidence back into it.
She's just got to if she gets 1 shot in, then her confidence is going to come back. The trouble when you're shooting, a lot of it is very mental, and if you miss 1, 2, 3 on a trot, then you're just going to lose that little bit of confidence. And half the key on shooting is the confidence and your ability to believe that that ball is going to go in the net.
So Isle of Man taking the advantage of Republic of Ireland centre pass.
Nice reading of the ball by the goalkeeper.
Hayes been really effective in there, isn't she?
She's been very effective in there. She's reading the ball beautifully.
So she's going to get pulled for coming back on the court. Interesting, they didn't want to use Cook there at the front. She was giving a nice front ball.
Can you just explain that rule about her fact that they gave the decision away because she came back on court there? Why was that?
She has to be grounded on the court before she can take the ball. And she was actually coming from off the baseline and landed on the court, so that is...
With the ball in her hands.
Yeah, not permitted. Oh, how they got that through the eye of the needle there, I don't know. It was a great ball, but unfortunately...
the goal attack didn't know
wasn't
either.
expecting
She was not expecting it at all.
So, 23-17.
But the Irish have come out much stronger. So we've just got to get their goal attack's confidence just got to come back up, and then she'll start popping them in like she did yesterday.
It's good reading of the game there by Irish wing defence. Oh, well done.
Oh my gosh. How she got that, I don't know. Nice.
But did you see Shepherd there immediately came in front of her? It's that point we were talking about blocking out for the rebound.
Yes, now let's see
Lovely
if she can
use
do
the
this.
screen there to get herself
There we
in.
go.
Great shot. So, all of a sudden, 23-19, only 4 goals in it.
Amazing. See, it can turn over so fast in a netball game.
And if you are tuning in on this bright and early Saturday morning, give us a shout. Use our Twitter feed, hashtag NEU17 challenge, just up on the screen there for you.
It's a lovely shot.
We will be happy to read out any information. So Sue doesn't say your surname, Sue. Glad you're tweeting in with us. Obviously watching one of the games yesterday. Hope you're enjoying the netball here in Gibraltar this weekend.
Oh, that was a shame because that was a lovely pass into the circle. So the Isle of Man team now having to pass it around because the Irish defence is, their hands are up. They're actually making it more difficult for them to get the ball down the court. That was lovely.
Cook does that really successfully. She's using that baseline.
She does.
Really well. And her ability to change direction quickly, the defender's never quite sure which way she's going to pop. 25-19, 6 in it.
And that was a nice read of the ball from the goal defence there. Unfortunately, she did contact at the same time, but at least she was looking at where the ball was coming in.
Good shot there by Ireland.
You can see that Ireland have got more confidence because they're coming out for those centre passes that little bit faster. That was a beautiful pass in. She really has just lost her confidence there a little bit in the goal attack. And as you say, yesterday she wasn't missing.
Nice take by Cook. Jacqueline Charter, there she goes.
Nice run down the baseline. Yep.
There is an expression, isn't there, that the defence have got to shut the back door?
Absolutely. Or they use that baseline as an extra defender. It's another way of you can do it right. Let's see what she can do now.
There.
Right, come on. Just bend those knees a little bit more. That's it. There you go.
So keeps Ireland within touching distance, 26-21.
It's still all to play for. It's still open.
Well, we saw that game yesterday against Switzerland and Gibraltar. I think at half-time, I can't remember what the score was, I think you were down by 12.
Something like that.
Three-quarter time, it was
we were
6.
Still down.
And then you won the game by 7.
Yeah, which shows that in that last 15 minutes, how it was just turned around to, as you say, anything can happen in a netball game, even down to the last 2 or 3 minutes of a match, which was what makes it quite exciting to watch.
Well, I was just talking to Sarah Pays, who's the head coach of Gibraltar, who've just been out competing in Hong Kong. And in the bronze medal playoff game against Thailand, there was 47 seconds on the clock. They were down by 3, and they came back, drew the match, and won it 62-60 in extra time.
Amazing. That's amazing.
So that should give everybody in netball inspiration that it is never over until that last whistle.
Never, ever over.
So, chasing the ball.
It's a case of keeping your heads up and believing in yourselves until it's actually finished.
So Isle of Man just need to keep possession on the turnovers. Get an opportunity to goal.
See how the wing defence for Ireland there is keeping that wing attack away. She's just using her body to block her going to where she wanted to go, which is an effective tool as a wing defence to try and keep your wing attack out of the game, making the opposition only have play with 6 players. Yes, look at her again. She's really on fire at the moment, that wing defence for Ireland.
Duval not quite ready to put it up.
Yes.
Yes, and Hayes was waiting for that.
She was absolutely waiting for that.
She read it like a book.
She did. All right, come on, let's see what they can do now. As soon as they get a nice interception like that, these sort of speed and pressure. Oh,
unlucky. Great hands.
Amazing.
Great shot. So, we have a real game on our hands here. 27-22, Ireland centre pass. 6.5 minutes left on the clock.
That was
unlucky.
Just put just a little bit too high up.
So Netball Ireland are with us on Twitter. And I know many of the fans are here too. They also thought it was a much better quarter by the girls in green.
Good. And I'm hoping they're going to be even more pleased with how they've come out in this third quarter.
So 5 in it, Joe, at this stage.
It's anybody's game.
I don't think my nerves will take many more of these this weekend.
Absolutely not.
So 28-22, Ireland missed the opportunity to score off their own centre pass there. Isle of Man did take the turnover to goal. So shot by Cook.
Good shot.
Doing what she's done really well all weekend, putting the ball away. 29-22.
What's very nice to see is the Irish goalkeeper is really pushing on her team. She's really encouraging them at all the times. As soon as the Isle of Man team have actually scored a goal, but she's there, she's shouting at them, she's encouraging them.
Great use of the screen again by the Irish goal shooter goal attack. Unfortunate contact called.
Oh, beautiful.
So thanks very much.
Yep, I'll take that one back. And now let's see, hopefully with an interception like that, she's boosted their confidence, quickly feed in. And it's a penalty. And they're going to give it to her, which is exactly what you said earlier. Give it up.
Yeah, lovely pop. Intelligent
shoot
a ball.
Right, she should get this one.
Oh my goodness. We say it a lot, but sometimes those close balls are the most pressurised ones in the circle.
Because you know that
everyone thinks you should score it.
Exactly.
It's not quite as simple as we think. So 29 plays 23, still 6 goals in it. So this has been a quarter with nothing to choose between the teams.
Nothing at all. It's
Hayes almost fingertips.
So important in the defensive circle to keep you on your toes and keep moving at all times. The Swiss goalkeeper, who's extremely effective, is actually a fencer.
Is she?
She is, and so she's. If you watch her footwork, yeah, she's always moving her feet. She's using that fencing sort of stance, and her feet are moving the whole time. She never stands still. And
she was very effective for Switzerland yesterday.
Yeah, she
really good.
juggles between her fencing and her netball.
And actually, at this level, you see a lot of these players playing international sport for more than one sport. So quite a few of the Isle of Man players playing hockey or football for their country, as well as being international netball
that
players.
Drive. That was a beautiful drive into the circle. She deserves that goal. She's not going to get it. That was a superb pass by the wing attack into the goal attack.
So that gives the Isle of Man 31 goals to Ireland's 23. Just 3 minutes left now, Joe, in this quarter.
It
been a good quarter.
You sense the pace of the game is lifted. There's a bit more energy out there.
Absolutely. You can feel it from the crowd as well. The energy is really lifted in the whole sports hall.
Great. And that's what we were talking about earlier, the attack after defend as well. And that attacking unit defence there just forced the 3 seconds. Well played, yeah. And rightly, Cook applauds her team. That gives them a little bit more of a comfortable cushion now. 32-23.
The wing attack's working hard. That was an interesting pass, but fooled the Isle of Man team completely and just rolled it along the ground. Just bend her knees. She's just got to bend her knees that little bit more. There we go. Nope.
But what I'm impressed with in terms of Simon is she's not stopping taking on the responsibility of shooting, which for a shooter is really important.
Well done.
We say that when you put a goal attacker, goal shooter bib, you put on all that responsibility on behalf of your team, and you've got to take the shots on even when it's not going well. So Isle of Man.
She's also got responsibility as captain as well, hasn't she? Which, as a goal attacking captain, is a difficult role to take on. So she has the added pressure, which is quite nice why the goalkeeper is actually taking on a lot of the responsibility of encouraging the team, because when you're playing goal attack it's very difficult to do the encouraging of your team at the same time because you're concentrating on getting that ball in the net.
So great elevation by Hayes, but Isle of Man still successful. 33-24. Great hands of Jacqueline Charter getting that tip.
Nice. Yes,
well played. Hayes again.
She actually reminds me very much of the Swiss goalkeeper in sort of looks as well as the way she plays.
Oh, well played, Cook. Just both teams need to clean it up a little bit. More clarity around their possession.
Absolutely. Look at that jump. Got to be careful though when you jump that you don't land inside that 3-metre mark.
So 10 goals now, last minute. Ireland will watch this quarterback and realise how close they were to really closing the gap before Isle of Man are pulled away. 35-24.
They have really pulled away in the last couple of minutes. Pass it around the circle a bit, no.
So around 15 seconds left on the clock. Nice
take.
Oh yes, good.
I'm willing every one of hers to go in at the moment for her. That was a
right idea to try. There's always that balance between does the centre take her time getting back into the circle to keep possession on the centre pass, or do they try to get it in and get a shot?
And it depends. Every situation is slightly different on that. There was sometimes you just see that vision, and you realise you can get from that centre pass straight into the circle, and it works beautifully when it works. But it's also an easy one for that goalkeeper to pick up and read.
So as the teams take to the bench for the last break here in the first game on day 2, Isle of Man have a 10-goal lead over Ireland, 35-25. Still quite low scoring, would you say?
I would think it is. There's been it is a low scoring game. There's been a lot of misses. If you think about how many attempts they've all had at goal, we could be at least another half up again than we are at the moment. It would be interesting to see the shooting stats, which I am assuming their team managers are keeping. We won't see them, of course, but it would be an interesting thing to see just how many out of their attempts that they've actually scored.
And that adds yet another dimension to the pressure that these young athletes are on, that performance analysis and the feedback, not only to the shooters who are expected to be shooting as they develop through the age groups at 90% plus shooting.
Incredible.
Which is incredible, the amount of time and effort they need to put in above and beyond all their normal training. But the performance analysis will look at the turnovers, the balls that are given away, things like unforced errors.
Exactly.
So the scrutiny of the players is intense.
I do find though as a coach, if you are able to give them those figures, they believe the figures more than just your words when you're telling them.
Do they?
And in actual fact, it seems to often will lift the players because they go, okay, I did that turnover, but we didn't convert it to a goal. But the minute you say, right, next time when you do a turnover, you must convert. You've got to make that a turnover, and you've got to take it to goal, or you've got to at least keep possession of it. They seem to understand the figures more at this age, whether they're still in academia or I don't know what it is. But the second you give them the stat, they relate it better to their play.
So 10-goal gap. It's a big ask of Ireland coming into this last quarter, particularly the way they finished that last 5 minutes.
If it had been like they played the first part of that third quarter, then I would say it's a doable thing. I'm not as convinced now.
So your money is now on Isle of Man.
I think my money's now on Isle of Man.
I'm going to make you make a comment and then hold you to it at the end of the game.
My prediction, it's going to be the Isle of Man. I'd like to see Ireland coming back. I'd like to see them fighting hard. Realistically, at this point, I'm not sure. But as we said, you can actually never tell.
You can never tell in this wonderful sport of ours, which is netball. A coach that sits on the fence now. Have we ever heard of those before? So if you're enjoying the netball, remember, keep in touch with us here in Gibraltar. #NEU17 challenge. We'd love to hear from you. And don't go too far away this morning. We are back here after this game live at 11 o'clock local time to see Switzerland take on Malta. We'll shortly bring you the substitutions because probably not surprising, there are a few for this game. So as a coach, Joe, what would you be focusing your bench on at this moment in time?
I would be really looking at, I'd want to see the Irish centres being a little bit more confident on that second phase ball. They're driving out for the centre pass, but after they've received that first ball from the centre pass, they're losing a little bit of confidence and pushing it into the circle. The Isle of Man, I would actually be saying to them they need to continue to be marking well, putting those arms up over the ball, forcing the Irish down the sidelines. Interestingly, have they kept the same goal attack on court for the Irish game? Yes, she's still there, so they're still
they'll let them work
she's
through
going to
it.
get her.
That's an interesting tactic by the coaches, isn't it?
It
About
is.
allowing a shooter who perhaps is not quite, her play on court is really good.
It's
she's
excellent.
strong, she's showing good leadership.
She is.
Difficult decision to take your captain off.
A very difficult decision to take your captain off, and I would imagine it would have been going through the coach's head, do I not? And I think they've probably made the right decision leaving her on because, as you say, taking your captain off is a little demoralising probably for the whole team, and she is working extremely well around the court. It's just her actual shooting. So yeah, maybe you rely more on your goal shooter and get her to pass the ball into the goal shooter.
So Cook gets the Isle of Man off to a good start in this quarter. Again, Ireland didn't score off their centre pass.
That's where they're lacking it. The Isle of Man team are much stronger on their drive down the court from centre pass. And if you watch from the Irish point of view, when they get their centre passes, it's a little bit more loose, it's a bit not so determined. Obviously the Isle of Man coach has given them some pep talk. They've come out much stronger, fighting hard.
So 37 plays 25.
Again, they've lost their centre pass.
So Deb Boffey, I hope I've said it right, apologies if I haven't, watching from home and supporting Ireland here today. You're welcome to be with us. I doubt the weather back home is as good in Ireland as we're experienced down here.
Probably not.
Probably not. I may be wrong. You can shoot me if it's not the case. And Deb is giving a big shout out to Seren Redmond, who's on the court at wing attack for Ireland. So Ireland did run the changes at quarter time. We'll bring you those in just a second.
Oh, beautiful cat. That was a nice take. Good vision from the centre into the goal shooter there.
So yeah, the interplay between Jacqueline Charter and Cook's
let's see
been really
if the Irish
effective.
can get there. See, it's just that little bit less confident coming out of centre
Hesitation,
pass.
not looking for where the space is, not sure, and again giving the ball away.
It's the third time now. In fact, every centre pass this quarter so far, the Irish have lost it.
And that's been the difference of the score. Ireland yet to score in this quarter, 39-25 Isle of Man.
Oh. Nice pick up.
It's also important to have your reactions, pick up these loose balls. Nice drive by the wing attack.
So Ireland now playing with a combination of Maguire and Simon in the circle, as we can see, but Shepherd having none of it.
Nope, she saw that one coming. So the obstruction by the wing attack there.
Yeah, Redmond hands up just before distance. It's what you were talking about earlier,
exactly,
Joe.
Yeah, it's
feet back before your
feet
hands
back
up.
before your hands go up. Centre.
Great defence there
Yeah.
by
Oh, bad luck.
Hayes and Stinchmore.
A hard catch and forced her into making the footwork.
So Zeta on at wing defence for Ireland.
Someone's got to drive forward. The centre did it.
That's Eaton now in its centre for Ireland. Better use of the width of the court.
Yeah, much nicer. There's shooters holding. That goalkeeper saw it again though. Wing attack needs to get a hand. Can't see. There we go.
Redmond
That
with the
was
ball.
good.
Again.
She's reading the ball very nicely at the moment, the goalkeeper for Isle of Man. Every pass coming in, she's got it. It's as if she's in the heads of the Irish team.
So there is something there about if they know the goalkeeper's going to do that, fake the ball one way and then pop it the other way. Haven't seen a lot of that in the tournament this weekend.
There hasn't been a lot of that.
But that again is a skill coaches like yourself, Joe, need to develop in these young players, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. And it's one of those things that's probably the first thing to go when they get the pressure of coming on court into a big international stage.
So Maguire scores that one. First one for Ireland this quarter. Almost 5 minutes for them to score.
Yeah.
39 plays 26.
The Isle of Man team have come out much, much stronger and much more confident in this. Nice rebound from the goal defence there. Just too far. Oh. Just put that ball too far ahead of her. She couldn't quite catch it.
Shepherd's not particularly tall, but it's her timing and her reading of the ball placement and where she needs to go and move her feet is really effective.
Yeah. You don't need to be tall as long as you get in front.
And as we always say, it's not the last man standing in the circle, it's all the pressure that needs to come from every player down the court.
Yeah, indeed.
I think we can hear the Irish whatever it is.
I'm not sure what it is, but it's a reflective noise.
So, Isle of Man, Jacqueline Charter.
It was the battle yesterday of the cowbell versus whatever the Irish noise was.
So, great play there again. Duval's had a good game for Isle of Man.
She has.
40 now plays 26. 14 goals the difference.
Oh,
so they've really
Simon's
pulled away.
She's not looking. So as I said, this changing of players in the middle is a little bit confusing for me. They seem to just wander off as they feel like it.
I'm sure the umpires have got full control of the game and know exactly what they're doing.
I'm sure they do.
What do we know? It's non-qualified umpires.
Armchair umpires, that's what it's called, isn't it?
It certainly is. So they've run the changes there in the circle. 40-27. We're into the last 9 minutes here.
Right, so come on, they can bring this back.
Yes,
Hayes,
yeah,
she was reading that ball beautifully. She's not giving up.
She went sideways rather than driving her feet forward. And I remember good defensive coach saying, don't just kind of lunge, turn and run. So as we saw, Hughes is now on at goal attack for Ireland.
Difficult coming in as a goal attack in the last half of the last quarter.
Yeah, she played the majority of the game, or some of the game at shooter.
Yes, she did.
41-28. She's there. Ooh.
Desperation from the Irish defence there a little bit.
Good pressure again there by Hayes, forcing the ball out the court.
She's had a very good game, the Irish goalkeeper.
So if you were to pick who you think have been particularly effective from both teams, who would that be?
Well, it would definitely be the keeper for Ireland, and I do like the centre for Isle of Man. I think she's extremely effective on court. She's linking defence and attack extremely well. Yeah, very calm.
Great interception there by Duval. Read that ball really well, but there we go. We've seen it again. Turned the ball over. Really great interception, and then just gave it away. Oh, lovely reverse take there by Shepherd.
I just felt both keepers in this game are having a huge impact.
Nice. So Leith gets her interception there.
Well offside by the Irish centre.
I think even you and I can spot that one, can't we?
I can do that bit.
So the umpire's given out of court rather than offside, interestingly.
Nice catch by the wing attack there. Wing defence offside as well there. But that umpire was letting advantage go, I
So Republic of Ireland have a throw-in. 41-28, Isle of Man still lead. There you go. You thought, oh, can she hold that? No, not quite, unfortunately, for Eton. Zeta in their wing defence. Great drive there.
Nice catch.
Chooses to pop it over to Duval. Stingemore now back in her regular position of defender.
Really, she's effective there. That was a nice play by the Irish down the court.
Great play into Hughes.
Yes. They deserved that one. Right, let's have some confidence in the centre pass now. That's better. That was a nice ball. Yes. Well worked.
Another great shot.
Yeah.
So 41-30. Still in touch.
Still in touch.
Reduced their unforced errors. I think this Irish team will be a force to be reckoned with the rest of the weekend.
Without a doubt. No, they've got it there. It's just, as you say, it's the unforced errors. Nice rebound by the goal shooter there.
Yeah, Cook's done that really well. Her
Yeah,
timing on the rebound for a player who perhaps isn't quite as tall as the defender has been really effective.
And also against a very effective defender. So she's done an extremely good job on those rebounds.
She has. So 12 goals in it still. Here, 4 minutes to go.
See, what I have noticed with the Irish when they're defending, they're putting their arms up, but well, I'm just saying now that their centre actually was doing it very well, but or the wing defence. But they're not committing when they're putting their arms up. They're sort of feeling a little bit apologetic for putting their arms up rather than absolutely going for it.
I wonder how many of the players in their minds are thinking about, are they right or left-handed? So they put the pressure on their shooting side rather than just up together.
Yeah.
So prevents them, you know, not necessarily both up, but one up, one down on their third dominant side.
And I think at the moment it would just be more effective. Get those hands up, get it over the ball, really make your presence felt. Replay ball.
That's unfortunate. It's a good.
If you look at the goal shooter now, she was just a bit slow in getting her hands up, and she's tall. She could really dominate that pass from the goalkeeper if she really was believing in herself that she could do it. Nice interception there. Good pass, nice.
Much better. Hughes.
Yes. They really have it, the Irish team. When they're believing in themselves, they are a force to be reckoned with, as you say. It's just, I think this game has been won on self-belief, I feel.
Really good, strong commitment there by Eton. I think it's fair to say Ireland have got all the tools in their toolkit.
They have.
They just need to know when to use them and bring them out.
Absolutely.
At what point in the game.
Exactly.
So this combination of Duval and Cook being on all game worked really well.
It did. That was a nice jump from the goalkeeper.
43-31. Ireland centre pass.
Yeah. We do have some work to do on that centre pass. Nice take.
That was
Shane.
a little bit of a late
Yeah.
take-off.
Again, that's the perfect example of how having to stretch for that ball just that little bit too much.
Yeah. You've got to get rid of it
Causing that
before you
late
put that
take-off.
first foot back down
Yeah.
again.
Nice
Lovely
pass.
vision.
She's seen
Great to
across
see the
court.
confidence of
Yeah.
Jacqueline Charter. And there you
Yeah,
go. She
look
had
at that.
2 options and she chose the pop to the post.
Yeah.
That shows a confident player
Absolutely.
at the top of her game
Yeah.
at this level.
She has had a great game, as she did yesterday.
So
And
44-31.
there she goes again. That's lovely, lovely.
What I like about her is she's calm on the court. She doesn't feel hurried, but she can react quickly. She's
Absolutely.
got fast hands. She's got good vision.
Yeah, and she can make those decisions extremely quickly. Like that last one there, going into the goal shooter. She was receiving the ball, turning in the air. She knew where she was doing with it. She had the confidence that her goal shooter was there. And as you said, she had 2 options, but she took the one straight to post.
Great shot. 45-31.
I'm feeling my prediction might be correct.
I think with a minute to
Am
go,
I
Jo,
safe?
you're safe now. You can come off the fence if you'd like.
Marvellous. Okay.
So your prediction is
My
Isle of Man are going
prediction
to
is
win.
Isle of Man
Well,
are
there
gonna
we go. I'm sure the viewers are amazed at our
I think they
insight
are.
and
Our perception of the
ability
game
to
is
play.
incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing. Oh, bit of an air ball there. It's great. I've heard some commentators say that's come down with snow on it. So I must make a mental note of that one. I like
That's a good
that.
one, yeah.
So Shepherd again. She's had a great game.
She has. It's what you need in a centre court player is a centre, is someone who's calm, who has the vision but will not get riled and doesn't try to do everything. She's very happy to let her defenders bring it down and move into the attack and just keep the whole pace at her level, where she wants to be. Just keep it calm. Nice. Yeah,
There you
good
go.
communication there. Bad luck.
Unlucky, but again,
That was
the
the
quality
pressure.
of the passing in there.
Yeah.
And yet Hayes put the pressure on. Oh, and there we
There we
go.
go.
What a great game to start day 2 here at the Netball Europe Under-17 Challenge. Isle of Man take their 2nd win of the tournament, 2 from 2 for them, 45 against Ireland. Ireland now take to their benches with 2 losses, but some competitive netball out there, Jo.
Extremely good netball, and to be honest, the score does not reflect how well Ireland played. They did some excellent netball. They had some great skills. Their keeper was really on form. And they'll look back at maybe this recording and see where they could have made some improvements. Their shooting stats probably weren't as good as they wanted, and if they had better shooting stats, then the match would have been much, much closer. However, I do feel on balance the Isle of Man were the better team on the day. They had much more confidence in themselves, and that really was, to me, the key to why they won this game. It was purely a belief and self-belief in themselves.
So don't go away, as we've said, there will be another game starting here local time at 11 o'clock. We will see Switzerland take the court against Malta. So Jo, you feel a little bit nervous about that game?
I'm feeling, shall I go on the fence again? No, I'm going to make a commitment. Switzerland will win this one. I'm hoping it will be an opportunity to get everybody on court. So far there's been I think 1 or maybe 2 players that haven't actually got off the bench yet, and I'm hoping on this one they'll be able to get their first caps for their country against Malta.
So that's it for the first game here in Gibraltar. I hope you enjoyed the match. Jo, thank you so much for
been a
being
great pleasure.
with us. Really enjoyed it this morning. My thanks, as always, goes to those who have made this event possible, particularly Netball Europe, Inspire Sport, Gibraltar Netball Association and all their wonderful volunteers, QTV Sports and Gib Media, and of course those of you joining us on our live stream from wherever you may be in and around the region or perhaps the world. Don't go too far, full day of netball.